Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Farmington Historic District Commission. I'm Shannon Rupp, the town planner. We will start with a roll call of members. My list is a mess. We're going to go in alphabetical order, or my list order. Jay Bombara.
Present.
Jim Calciano, I will note for the record, is absent. Joanne Lawson.
Here.
Michelle Fallon.
Here.
Peter Master Batista.
Here.
Liz Gemsky.
Here.
Henry Pertil, I will note, is absent. And Ted Sanford.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have I'll convene the meeting of the Farmington Historic District Commission on December 16th. I will appoint Ted Sanford as a regular member for purposes of the public hearings. With that, I will ask the secretary, Michelle, to read the public hearing into the record.
Notice is hereby given that the Farmington Historic District Commission will hold a hybrid in-person and online public hearing on Tuesday, December 16th, 2025 at 5 p.m. in the Town Hall Council Chambers on the following applications. Todd Niffen, application for temporary certificate of appropriateness for the replacement of front door and side lights at 44 Colton Street. Interested parties are encouraged to participate in this hybrid public hearing. Participation in person is at 1 Monteith Drive, Town Hall, Town Council Chambers, or online participation is via the link to the meeting on the Town of Farmington's website at the link provided. A copy of this proposal is available online at that link provided, or by calling the Planning Department at 860-675-2325, dated at Farmington, Connecticut, this first day of December 2025.
Okay, the applicant, Mr. Niffen, could just come up to the podium, identify yourself and your address for the record, and then just give a presentation on what you are applying for.
Thank you. My name is Todd Niffen. I am the owner and occupant of 44 Colton Street in Farmington. I see you have my application up here. Let me kick off by saying this is purely my oversight. I had no purpose of evasion in doing this. I've lived in old houses my entire life. And, when my family and I were moving here and picking between the various towns, I basically lobbied my wife that we should live in the old house in the historic district. And so this was purely my oversight in trying to get a project done before it got cold and the door could leak like a sieve for the rest of for another winter. But I'll move on from that. I know that's not exactly why we're here. Hopefully I was as complete as you're looking for in this application, but essentially what we did is the existing front door and side lights, I'll call it the assembly, was pretty badly deteriorated. It wasn't really able to have like a substantial lock put on it either. But the biggest problem was that it just let the weather in all seasons. So I've spent essentially the last 3 years trying to find a carpenter that could help me. And I've had several out, and I had several decline to do the work because either the project was too small or they were worried about, you cut open an old house and they were worried they would find. In August, I finally found one that was willing to do it, and then we started scoping out the project. We scoped out the project based on the materials that I provided here, and the intent was to go with the same color door, match the prior door with a door that is, as you can see up there, as close as possible to the original. Well, the previous door. It's not original to the house. As far as paneling goes, and as far as materials to the maximum extent possible. The door we selected is primarily wood. It has some waterproofing features around the edges that are not wood, but otherwise it's substantially wood. It's fir, I believe. Same deal for the side lights. And as it relates to the side lights, I was somewhat restricted by what the manufacturer had available. So, I tried to do the best I could, essentially. Kind of did a survey of the neighborhood to look at other side lights and similar style houses, and made the choice as detailed on page 1 right here. I'll stop myself for a second to make sure I'm giving you the information you're looking for.
This is perfect, whatever else
Okay.
you want.
Okay, good. I believe the work was done in October. Took about 3 days, 1 day for tear out, 1 day for kind of rough in, and then I had to work with the carpenter to I had to make a couple choices on the interior about where he was going to shim things for, nothing straight in my house, of course, but how he was going to shim things for appearance's sake. We made some discussions, and there's a slide on it about interior trim that we were going to retain because he couldn't remanufacture. Like, it's just not a stock that exists anymore. And, we spent like an hour looking at it, and he, ultimately told me, you can probably save this. You're going to have to get somebody else to patch and paint it. So we ultimately did that. And then there was about half a day where they had to, if you could maybe go back to the page that has that one. If you see on the left prior, there were columns that were there. And it was always part of my scope with this guy that he'd be able to recreate those columns as exactly as possible. So that wasn't part of the original scope. They assessed it. They said they could do it. And my personal opinion doesn't matter, but I think he did a pretty accurate job. I'm talking about the columns on the outside of the side lights. And then it was another day to install, shim, weatherproof, put the lock set in, things like that. What else could I tell you?
It looks like are you applying for a new light as well?
Yeah. So once Shannon reached out to me, and I read up on the stuff I should have read up beforehand, I realized that I believe features like this also require a certificate of appropriateness. So I created this so you could see what we had in mind. It's the closest font I could find to what was previously there. I mean, I don't know how old the previous light and house numbers were, but we liked the aesthetic, so we wanted to recreate it as much as possible. The doorbell assembly was just kind of a cheap plastic one, so we got one. It's the matching set to the numbers. And for the lighting, the only difference here is there was one light prior. We did have it wired for a second one just for symmetry, but the design is, kind of, I guess that's kind of a carriage style or a carriage lantern style, in keeping with what was there previously.
Okay. All right. Ted, do you have any questions or comments?
No questions. I think your carpenter did a great job matching the original entrance trim. The door looks good. Side lights are okay. So I'm fine with it.
Just one thing I'm sorry. One thing I would note, the white, I'm sure there's an architectural word for this, and I don't know what it is. But you see the kind of unpainted white pieces between the door and the side light. Mm-hmm. Those are ultimately going to get painted as well. But it was too late in the year, and my painter said it won't set. I'll come back in the spring. Everything else is going to stay the white color that it is right now.
Liz?
No questions. Thank you.
Michelle?
I don't have any questions. Thank you.
Peter?
No, it looks good. No questions. Thanks.
Thank you.
Joanne?
Yeah, no questions. Thank you for all the photos that you sent to us.
Yeah, happy to do it.
Happy.
Okay, I don't really have any questions. I do appreciate your acknowledging that unfortunately you had an oversight on the Historic Commission rules, and appreciate your rectifying that immediately. And the good news is what you were doing does seem to be appropriate. No, I guess I have no other questions. Is there anybody here in the audience or online that would like to comment or ask questions on this application? Do you want to poll?
If anyone's called in to offer comment on the 44 Colton Street application, please raise your hand. Using the feature in Zoom, you'll be acknowledged to address the commission. Again, if anyone's called in for 44 Colton Street to offer comment on the application, please raise your hand using the feature in Zoom. Mr. Chair, there's no hands raised.
Okay, I think we have somebody in the public. Could you come up to the podium and identify yourself? And
should I give up the podium?
Yeah, you can sit down. Thank you.
Thank you.
You mind? That's the right way to do it.
None of my classmates are here, so I'm okay doing this. But I came here a couple weeks ago and there was about 1 million kids in here and the meeting got canceled. And I was like, would have been scary. But I was just wondering, I'm not very familiar with what the 1928 building committee is. I'm required for my Gov and Law class to come to one of these meetings and take notes. But is it basically about preserving older buildings that we have in the town of Farmington?
All right, so to be clear, this commission is the Farmington Historic District Commission.
Okay.
The 1928 committee, I think, met already, or they're meeting now.
Well,
Peter would know.
we just met, and what the 1928 building committee is, that building, as you know, was part of the high school.
Mm-hmm.
And when they demoed the high school, the town decided to keep that building. And then there was a vote from the public to spend funds on that building to turn it into the new town hall. So they have basically gutted the building.
Yeah.
It's going to be the new town hall, but the outside still remains its character and preserves the outside of the building exactly, almost we'll say 99.9% of its accuracy to when it was built.
You know, I'm a senior, so I got to go to the old school for 2 years.
Yeah.
So for my freshman and my sophomore year. So when we went to the new school, it was definitely new and exciting. But you're talking about the 900s area of the building, right?
Well,
I'm sorry.
got me
You
on
probably don't know.
on the 900.
It's closer to the new school that was
No,
built.
that's
Is that the
that's the portion that's being used as Board of Ed office.
yeah, the board of Ed.
Okay.
The 1928 is the bell tower.
The big building, yeah.
The bell tower
Mhm.
that you see from Farmington Avenue. That's
Mhm.
so that's what's being kept.
So you guys, for preserving it, that's going to be the new town hall.
That's going to be the new town hall.
And then what's going to happen to this one?
Well, they're going to a large portion of, I think, the bottom here or the lower level, or no, probate's going to old Board of Ed. Then some community, the food bank will be moving in here. And I think they're going to open up other spaces to other organizations in town. And I say this very loosely, we'll say like the baseball, Little League or something like that, or some cultural stuff. And there's maybe some talk of using some of the excess space for galleries or something like that, or space for artisans, something like that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks
No
for coming.
further questions, but thank you.
Anybody else have any questions with the application or anything? Okay. Do we have a motion? Can I get a motion to approve the application as submitted?
I'll make a motion to approve the application for temporary certificate of appropriateness for the replacement of the front door and side lights at 44 Colton Street.
And should we add in, or can we add in the light fixture?
Yeah, it was
and
part of
side
the
lights.
application.
Oh, side lights. Oh, that's
So the side lights,
Yeah.
Oh,
No.
Wait.
So
Okay,
these, it was all part of the numbers, the doorbell and
Okay.
and lights.
all right.
And it'll be 2 lights as he indicated.
In addition to the front door and side lights, the application of for temporary certificate of appropriateness will also include the street numbers and the lights, the porch lights, 2 porch lights on either side of the door.
Okay. Do I have a second?
I second.
Any further discussion on the motion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed? Okay, you're all set. Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
You're welcome. Okay, the next order of business is the election of officers. Jim Calciano couldn't be here. I don't know, is there preference to, and who knows who's going to make it in January, but do you want to do this now, or is there a reason to wait, or are we good to go?
I thought we did it in January. We do it in December?
No, we didn't December.
The bylaws say do it in December. I think last year we did it in January. I think we didn't have a December meeting, so it was pushed to January because there wasn't a December meeting. So it's the commission's choice. So if we don't vote today, then we should do it in January, and the officers just roll until the election takes place.
Jim, by the way, had no objection to going forward. So just we're down one regular member. The regular, as you all may recall from past years, only regular members are permitted to vote. So, but Jim was fine. So,
Correct. And then Ted would be eligible to vote because you've seated him for,
oh, he would be able to.
so if there's an absence, yes.
That's not what's been
No,
said before.
I don't think so.
For an absence, so yeah,
Okay,
for an absence,
all right.
I would double check.
because you're filling an absence, so it's a 5-member vote. It's a 5-member vote for the election and for,
I'm fine, and I mean, unless it really becomes, hopefully, it won't an issue.
I don't think it's gonna be, well,
All right. So, do you want to run that?
I can if everyone wants to. So this is 5 regular commissions, including chairman, vice chairman, and secretary clerk are empowered to vote on all matters before the commission in the election of officers and in the election of officers on the commission. No more than 5 votes can be cast on the ballot. Alternate commissioners shall be empowered to vote only when a regular commission member is absent from the meeting. So that includes not only the applications, but the voting of officers as well. Now, that alternate commissioner cannot
serve
as one of the officers because the officers specifically have to be a regular member. Okay, good.
We're all good on the rules? Okay.
Yep.
And again, I'll ask Shannon Rutherford to act as temporary chair for purposes of the election of officers.
Okay, I'd like if there's a nomination for chair, please.
I'm nominate Jay Bombara.
Is there a second?
Second.
Are there any other nominations for chair? Any other nominations for chair? No. Okay, hearing none. Any discussion regarding the nomination of chair?
Oh, so for Jen, you do a good job.
I agree.
And I am willing to serve if you're asked. Thank you.
All right, then I will take a vote. I'll do just a general vote. If we need to go to a roll call, I will. So all in favor of Jay as chair, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Fabulous. Okay. Vice chair, is there a nomination for vice chair?
I spoke with Jim.
I nominate Jim Calciano.
I'll second that, and we'll state that I did speak to Jim earlier today, and he's willing to serve.
Okay, thank you. Any other nominations for vice chair? Okay, hearing none, is there any discussion regarding the nomination? Other than Jay, I know you just noted that you spoke with Jim, so he's good, okay. All right, again, we will do just a straight up vote. All in favor of Jim Calciano as vice chair, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right. Is there a nomination for secretary, please?
I nominate Michelle Phelan.
Okay,
I second.
and second, thank you. Is there any other nomination for secretary? Hearing none, is there any discussion on the nomination as Michelle as secretary?
Michelle, you willing to serve again?
Yes, thank you for asking.
That's all I have.
Okay. All in favor of Michelle being secretary, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you very much, everyone.
Okay, and I'll take back the chair. The staff report, is anything you want to bring up, Shannon?
No, no.
And I guess since we're there, anybody else, is there anything anybody else wanted to bring up and talk about tonight? Great. Then we'll move on to the approval of the November 18 minutes. I looked at them, they seem fine to me, but does anybody, can we get a motion to approve the minutes?
Well, I thought there was a sentence that said that Brian Connolly was attended online, but the first paragraph said he was in person. So if we could just strike the online one. unless,
He was here.
yeah, he.
Yeah, he was present in person. Yep. So there it is, time and
No.
present online.
That was the
So we'll
only,
make that correction.
okay, thank you.
So
That
we
was
can
the only thing.
Approve it as noted with the correction.
Okay, so do I have a motion to approve the minutes? Or for that matter, any other comments? But
I'll make the motion to approve the minutes as we discussed for the amendment.
I'll second.
any further comments, questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Abstention.
One
I abstain.
abstention. Okay. Anything else? Okay, with that, meeting adjourned. Thank you, everybody.